Okay. Hello, dear friends. Good afternoon. Such a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. And I'm done for my day and just very, very happy. And I want to gather my thoughts and talk about something about language and just some random thoughts. Recently, I listened to, there was one video pop up. It's the audio book by Mel Robinson, 5 Seconds Rule. And she was talking about there are something you never get to change. You just need to give yourself the decision. 5 second, 5 second, 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start to do things. The idea come from when she was in a very low point of her life, and everything fall apart, family, career, and everything. And so she could not get herself up. And there was one time she was watching a TV show. There was a rocket launching, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They start to count down, and then boom, the rocket shoot to the sky. What she found at that moment was that she just need to do that. And a lot of time, our life is about decision making. Put yourself in this moment. Changing your life needs only 5 seconds to change your attitude and start to doing to get yourself move. And it's very inspiring. A lot of us always have these thoughts, have these ideas. And I think it's all fate, it's all karma. And I was struggling, I am struggling, still I am struggling. And that video pop up, there must be a reason. And heaven must know that I want to do something, start something, or there must be something that make me so much attracted to that particular video and to that particular thought. So here I am making my effort and just do it. When you have a thought, you have an idea, get up, get moving and do it. I remember I always say one thing that is 想了就做. In Chinese, it's 想了就做. It's think and do. Do not hesitate. Do not put yourself into too much thoughts. Thought. Too much thoughts, consideration, hesitation. Whenever you hesitate, things will not happen. I discussed with my boy, with my son. There was one time we said, shall we go to swim? I don't feel like. Just do not say. Do not give yourself the chance to hesitate. We say, when we think and we decide we are going swimming, we are going swimming. We are doing it. We do it. We are right here doing it. And not shall we do it. How about we do it? When you have that thought, you will never make it happen. Just go ahead and do it. So one of my thought is this think and do. I think I will make it into a t-shirt or something, because it's one of my motto, my motivation, and my way of thinking. And just now I received one comment, and it's very interesting. This one is totally different from this, but let's allow our mind wandering around about these thoughts. One thing is, if you always want to do something, do it with enough accumulation of effort. You will be there. Don't be afraid. So the other day I did a card of calligraphy. It starts very randomly. About a month ago, I thought maybe I should start to practice some calligraphy. I saw other people doing calligraphy. I was thinking, oh, they can do it. Why not me do it? And there's nothing wrong. I can practice. I know I write very ugly, but if I do not practice, I will be even more uglier in writing. Just do it. People laugh at me, and people say my writing is ugly. Whatever you say, do I need to care? I do not need to care if other people think my word is ugly. I care is what I need to do is to practice. To practice today better than yesterday, now better than before. Just to keep on practice. You do not need to listen to others. Too many negativities, too many ideas. Just be honest to yourself and do the right thing. It's more important. So I start to write something, and then I got some friends saying, maybe you write some Chinese words and start to put on your Yiqi shop. And then I write one thing, and then got sold. Isn't it an accident? Isn't it, is this an accident? Is this just pure luck? It is 60 years of my practice in this world earned me that people would like to spend money on my ugly writing, if you say ugly. So there are a lot of super good artists. Maybe they are not selling. There are some lousy person who writes so ugly but still get to sell. There is something behind it much deeper than what you produce, what you present. And when you think about it, my story shows you at least one thing. That is the accumulation of effort. Sooner or later will become something that pay you back. If you have something, if you have an idea, go ahead, do it. Do not hesitate. You walk, keep on walking on it. Walk 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, as me, 60 years. There will be people who would like to buy you. One of these thoughts. And I just received one comment, very interesting about language. And this is something I always want to talk about. Let me first tell you a story. That comment is about the sound, why I cannot pronounce think. I cannot think. And I cannot sing. Sing a thing, this is a thing. and sing, I cannot pronounce it. You know, because I speak different languages, and I spend some time learning about language phonics. There is something very interesting, and I listened to Steve Pinker, and there was one thing psychologist has did a study. There is a window of learning language. If you miss that window, you will not gain that ability of learning language. So there were children who was put in the wild or encaged, some special psychology case, and never develop really the ability of language. This is one thing. Another thing, something you need to be born with. What I say need to be born with is that there is a window. You learn a certain sound, and at that age, you can pronounce that sound crispy clearly because you heard the right sound. You miss it, and then you are missing that sound. One example, in China, in Hunan province, in one part of China, the dialect cannot pronounce L and N differentiation, cannot differentiate this difference. So, nai, grandmother, they will say lai, and li instead of li. So they are still Chinese, but they just cannot pronounce it. Nowadays, everyone speaks standard Chinese. Everyone has this ability because you get exposed to that sound at an early age. Then you get that sound. One very good example, which is my living example, life example, my sons. They speak French because it's native, because daddy is French, so they speak French and they can pronounce every French word. And they speak Chinese because I speak Chinese with them. And okay, another thing about our family. At home, I speak Chinese. I do not speak English with them. And I'm a little bit not so strict, but daddy is very French people. They are very strict. They only speak French, even if the boy could not find the word and they struggle. No English, they speak French. So they were born speaking 3 languages. They were born speaking 2 languages, French and Chinese. So when my son first went to, he was born in America. When he was first born, went to school, he could not speak English. He could not communicate. He had really hard time to communicate and to express precise the word. Now it's all different because language is a way of living, it's not a tool. When you learn a language as a way of living, you learn it deeply, profoundly, and you know it. And if you learn it as a subject, it's usually not so effective as learning as a life. I learned French as a way of life. I lived in Paris. And you go to friend's party, everyone speak French, you do not speak French, you just could not communicate. It doesn't work, so you live in that environment. And also, what I have learned, my son can speak those languages, can speak every sound. Something, if we do not learn, we are just missing it. This S and TH sound, in Chinese, pinyin, we have all the alphabet without V, U, V, W, V. We cannot pronounce V sound. We cannot differentiate V and W. You can maybe very good. This is very hard for me because I did not learn it. I was not born with it. Now you know what I mean, not born with it. I didn't hear it until I was 10, 11. And at the age of 10, 11, we get a Chinese teacher teaching it. Still have that kind of not native speaker, so still have that struggle. So this is why I have trouble to pronounce it. And let me tell you another story. One of the most famous Burmese advertisement. Burmese is an international language tutoring company. So now there is a Burmese SAT test, is an educational company or teach language. And there was one advertisement or ad, Burmese ad. There was submarine and German Coastal Guard received SOS call. And SOS call, we are sinking, the submarine is sinking. And then the German Coastal Guard said, what are you thinking about? Because they cannot hear the sound, thinking down. And I am thinking about something, cannot differentiate this sound. And this S and TH sound is a very, very unique. And I think for Korean, they were born, they cannot pronounce them. For example, they cannot say P, as I remember. Philip. V or P, there are some sounds they cannot pronounce. So each of us has something that we just have struggled. And no matter how hard I try, I was not born with it. So it's very hard for me to hear it. Something you do not speak, you cannot hear. This is why if we do not hear things, our voice deteriorating, our speaking ability deteriorating. If our speaking ability lose our speaking ability, our hearing ability deteriorating, because we just could not get that sound. And also, it's very interesting for me to see that other people cannot pronounce zi, ci, si, that typical Chinese sound. Zi, ci, si, ri, 35日 79日 97日 日 and 日 吃饭 and 串门 串门 yeah, all these sounds. It's very interesting. So I think one of the things that I feel gifted, I feel fortunate, is that by learning different languages, by speaking different languages, it helps me to think and to understand other people better. And also, I am very, very interested in hearing other people's words, hearing other people's pronunciation. I like to guess their origin of their root, their heritage, from German, from French. Even different countries speak Chinese is different. Americans say 我是美国人,我是美国人, they exaggerate a lot of the four tones. And I think the four tone is also a very interesting part of and unique of Chinese language. And if French will say 我是法国人, and Italian a different way. And the pronunciation is very interesting. Je peux parler, n'est-ce pas? So the French is a big, heavy tone, heavy weight at the beginning, and smoothly, and at the end, the sound is strong. So I suddenly forgot some sample. Je veux. I will think about it a bit later. Suddenly, these words get lost. Italiano. Brazil is obrigada, obrigada, obrigada. So the intonation, the emphasis is on the last but one, obrigada. And for Italian, domani mattino, domani mattino. For Spanish, let me see if I can try some Spanish. ¿Cómo está, señorita? ¿Cómo está, señorita? ¿Cómo está, señora? ¿Cómo está, señora? Spanish seems crisp and up. And the French is Comment allez-vous? Vous allez bien, madame? Vous allez bien, monsieur? Da 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 da. Comment allez-vous? Vous allez bien? Da. Yeah, it's going up, French. American, let me see how the Americans. How are you doing? What? Tomorrow morning. American, I will not say American English because everyone, it's too easy to become too sensitive. Anyway, it's just very interesting. And another thing, difference, all language is different. And by understanding other language rules, help us to understand the way of thinking a little bit better. For example, in English we say, he and I, we went to some place. You and I, always other people first. In Chinese, 我跟他去的. Not so often we say 他跟我一块儿去的. Only when you want to push away the responsibility. But usually, the Chinese language is I-centered. I feel. 我跟他去的. And for example, I had dinner in the restaurant last night. So this is the English way of saying it. I had dinner. That's the main core of the sentence. Put it right in front. In the restaurant, last night at 7 o'clock, you put these adjectives or adding the explanations at the end. The Chinese, 昨天晚上7点钟，我和我的朋友在旧金山市那条小街上，我们去吃中饭，去吃晚饭。So in Chinese, we put every condition at the beginning, and at the end is Chinese word is the most important. Yesterday at 7 o'clock with my friend in San Francisco, a small street, we ate dinner. The one laughs best. So the important is at the very end. So that is the Chinese way of thinking, of saying. Anyway, I didn't organize my thought, so it's kind of hard for me to make it a very organized talk. I will just let it flow like this. Another thing is grammar. It's one of the most stressful thing for us, because we speak different grammar. In Chinese, we have no tense, we have no plural form, single form. We have our totally different way of saying it. So you see, a lot of time I hesitate because I want to make at least educated talk, and not even perfect, but at least I want to, when I talk, it takes me a lot of effort, my brain power, to arrange the word order, and then the tense, and then the single plural. And when I put all this information together to construct a sentence, it takes so much brain power. And with time, you get used to it. But still, there are times I hesitate. Yes, still there are times I hesitate. I hesitated. Yeah, I still need a second time processing about that. I need second time processing about that. Yes, so this is why I speak slow. And another thing is that a lot of people, especially for foreigners, to understand other people, usually non-native speakers speaking clearer English. Do I make any sense? I have heard some people say this. The reason I am guessing, because when you are not born with a particular language, Chinese or English, people understand more Chinese spoken by not a native local speaker. That is also for sure. Because you learned the rule, the grammar first. So you are speaking with the right structure instead of too many of the exceptions or the colloquial use. En français, il y a toujours des exceptions. Il y a des grammaires, il y a des règles, il y a des règles, il y a des grammaires, mais il y a toujours des exceptions. So this makes French so difficult to learn. This makes English difficult to learn. This makes every language difficult to learn, not only any particular language. Yeah, I'm just very, very fascinated by this, and thinking and contemplating about it is it just makes me very happy. And today I finished work. I had a long day, hard day, and very, very tired. I had a meeting, almost to fall asleep. And yeah, it's a routine meeting. Of course, you do not fall asleep, but I was just very, very exhausted, tired. And then I got some math homework. Bing! I am totally, oh, I am so happy. I just like to do what I like. When you do something you like, it is regenerating. That's about it. I wish you happy every day. I love you. I really do. Do. Bye, friends.